Hello everyone, my name is Philip aka Belazor and I am the Programming Director for DragonByte Technologies. I'm here to talk about our upcoming Zen 402 modification, DragonByte eCommerce. After you have installed it, you will see quite the amount of options there in the side menu. The categories, pretty standard. You got the content permission system from Zen 4 that's implemented. You have various standard category options, moderation options, whether or not new products create threads, the prefixes for those threads, the available product prefixes that can be used, whether products require a prefix. These product filters, we'll talk about them more when we get to the front end, but they are used for filtering the product list. You can define products as, for instance, being compatible with EV3 and EV4 or Zen 401 and Zen 402, and users will be able to filter the product list from there. Speaking of products, when we move on to the product list, you also have the standard permission system, content permissions that will be updated whenever you add or edit a product. You have an option to copy the product if you want to create a new product that's very similar, so you don't have to fill in everything again, although some things do need to be filled in again. You can move products to another category, you can assign it to a different user. At the moment, there's not much point to allowing users to create their own products because it is still the forum that will be collecting the payments. Since we are using the Zen 402 built-in payment processor system and not custom payment processors, we can't really allow users to change their own payment profiles just yet. That is something I will be researching more for a future version. You can add add-on products like branding free, professional installation. You can add downloads, and you can assign a license for this product if you want. You also have various log options here and downloads, licenses. We'll get to that a bit later. When you add or edit a product, you get quite the amount of options. A small tagline that will be used when you mouse over the description in the front end, depending on your style settings. That can be shown inline or not. You have a short description that will be displayed on top of the regular description. The product, the category, parent product, if that exists. The product filters, that defines which platform the product's available, although you don't have to use it as a platform filter, you can use it as whatever you like. Product requirements, things like platforms, and if you, for instance, want to set PHP 5.6 as a requirement, you can do that, so on and so forth. Full description, feature list, copyright information, all use the editor, so you have full VB code support. Product images, that's the product gallery, standard thing, attach new images, and so on. The product type, you will notice there is an option for physical products, but that is not enabled yet, and that is because I need to do more research into what is required for physical products. I don't have all the information for that just yet, so that's not available in this preview version. For digital products, you have things like license prefix, which is used to add more entropy to the unique license IDs, basically to easily identify the licenses. Downloadable versions, in case you want to sell a product that is compatible with multiple platforms, you can define that here. Pricing tiers, if you want to sell licenses that have expiry dates, or if you want to do like DBTech does and have a tiered system where you can actually sell a permanent lifetime license. Additional user groups, this has a default setting of customers group, but you can obviously do whatever you like or add your own user group. These product fields is basically for when you purchase the product. If this field is set, it will ask the user to fill in those fields, and it will then post a thread in the forum that you create. With the appropriate prefix. That is useful, for instance, if you are selling a professional installation add-on, you can create things like FTP username, password, host, admin CP, username, password, and any htaccess protection that may be applicable on the site. You can set that to be required before the user will actually be able to complete the purchase. For product prefixes, this is just the standard prefix system in Zenforo. Product fields is what we just talked about with the with the professional installation. Automatic discounts is a way to create bulk purchase discounts where you have a threshold. If the user has more than X in their cart, they will receive this discount. And the amount of discount you get, you can rename it to whatever you like. Coupons is a bog standard coupon system. Start date, end date, how many users it has, minimum products, and you can set it to apply to only certain products or all products if you don't select any. You also have the coupon permissions, so if you want to create coupons that only special users can get, like only existing customers will get access to that coupon, you can do that. You can also view the coupon usage in the standard log format. Sales, on the other hand, is essentially the same as coupons, except it is automatic. When you add a new sale, you have also an option to add, we don't need to see that. You also have an option to send an email when the sale starts or immediately, and the language will change briefly based on whether or not you enable one or both of these options. And you can read the description there yourself. You will also have the option of choosing the sale type. That's the same as the coupons. Start date, how long you want the sale to run for, which products are applicable. That's also the same as the coupons. Moving on to the digital products here, you have 3 different methods of download. You have external URLs, you have attachments, and you have auto-generated files. External URLs, you have the standard options here: version string, changelog, release notes, whether or not it's new features, change features, bug fixes. With the external URLs, you basically just input the URLs to wherever the resource is located somewhere else. With attachments, you attach the files, as you might imagine. And with auto-generated downloads, you will input the directories that the system will read from when generating those downloads. Licenses, you just have a standard list of all the licenses that have been purchased. You can see the purchase date and various license fields, which we'll look at just now. These fields can be set to be displayed on the license list or just in the license info page. You have the standard custom fields options, all the standard options in Zenforo. The order log is just the standard list of all the orders that have been placed, and you can do a cursory search as well with a few options. Download log, also pretty standard. You get to see a snapshot of the license fields as they were when the user downloaded this particular license. You can also do a standard search here. Store credit log. Now, store credit is a way for you to grant user currency, in air quotes, I guess you could say, without actually having to refund them. Like if they purchase something and download it, generally speaking, that means they forfeit their right to refund, although obviously you can do whatever you like. And if you do that and they still want to cancel their order, then what you can do is grant them store credit via this interface, and that will allow them to use that towards future orders. You can also do the standard search here. The coupon log, it shows all the usages of the coupons when they were purchased, when they used to purchase products. The purchase log is an individualized list of all the items that were purchased and whether or not the order was cancelled or if it was a new sale. See the price that was paid, this is after the discounts, so the reason why it's nothing here is the fact that I applied a coupon that took away all the cost. Transaction log is basically a quick link to the payment provider log in Zen 402, which does not have any entries just now. In the settings, the first thing you'll see here is what happens if you delete content, such as a download if you have that option turned on, or a product if you have that option turned on. When it comes to posting new threads, whether or not you want to delete the thread, close the thread, update the title, and so on and so forth. Add-on product title template is basically a way for you to make it easier to see which product the add-on belongs to without having to define it in the product name. Because if you define it in the product name, then certain displays are going to be a bit unwieldy, and so I've applied this template system so that only in places where it makes sense to display, like your license list, this full title will be displayed. Generated file name template is basically what will happen for the zip files that get downloaded. You don't have to enter .zip there. Now the terms of service page is quite good because it checks which node type you've added. If you've added a page here for the terms of service, you will see that in this list here. This is just a standard terms of service that DBTech uses. And it will also track when the last time it was updated, so you don't have to manually specify that. We'll see that more when we get to the front end. The default user group that your customer gets applied to if you want. A default product owner if you don't specify that. Some various per page options, default lists, and some options for product ratings and reviews. The currency, which payment profiles you want to accept for this particular thing. The license renewal discounts apply to when users purchase extensions, and you can set separate discounts depending on whether or not you want it to apply when the user has let their license expire or when they are renewing inside of their remaining time on the license. You can also send an email reminder for pending orders, and you can also apply a coupon like some stores do. If you just add a product to your cart and leave it for a few days, then maybe they'll send you a 10% discount. Wherever you can change all the options, you have days, months, years there. Invoicing. An automatic PDF invoice can be generated when you submit a payment, and they will be able to get that straight to their email inbox if you enable this option. Then you will be able to edit your business information if you want, your tax ID if it has a tax ID like VAT, that will also be printed on there. And yeah, you don't have to make any edits to the code. You don't have to download anything manually. The PDF generation is included in the product. Moving on to the front end, you will see standard category display there, and a small widget for the top rated products. You'll also see this has got inline moderation, which has the things that you would expect. Ability to delete, undelete, approve, unapprove, reassign, and so on and so forth. If we go, and here you can see the product tagline on mouse over. That's because the default style is set to display descriptions on mouse over, like the form descriptions. On the main product information page, you have the standard information up there when the product was first created. You have product information here. These are the requirements. So if you'd set PHP 5.6 as a requirement here, you'd see that pop up there as well. You have various pricing information. You have the short description, you have the full description, the product galleries that you've attached in the admin CP, the full feature list, copyright information, all the downloads. If there's no demo version available, there will not be a link there. The discussion thread for each of these downloads. Small test review. You can leave your own review if you're not the product owner. The reason why Test Moderator was able to leave that review was they were not the owner at the time. You can also release a new download with the various options that we have right there. It's exactly the same as the admin CP. Watch and unwatch the product, because it uses the alert system to alert you if there's a product update. You have all of the same options as you do in the admin CP, the ability to edit the product icon that will be displayed there and in the product list. Inline moderation, as we went through earlier. Up here in subnav, you have latest reviews. There's no reviews at the moment. You have your account, where the order list that of the orders you've completed and orders that are currently awaiting payment. So you can retry that if that has failed. You need to read that warning, because sometimes PayPal doesn't trigger the notification right away, for instance, and then the order might be stuck in awaiting payment, and we need to make sure that the user doesn't actually pay twice. But if the user also cancelled out of PayPal because they wanted to use another payment method, for instance, then being able to retry the order without having to re-add the entire order to the cart is a good thing. And any sales that were applied at the time, for instance, if this was an order from 2 weeks ago when there was a sale on, and they want to retry it now because there was an e-check that didn't clear or something like that, you never know what PayPal does, because PayPal will do what PayPal will do. The user will not lose out. So that is something that I made specifically clear. You can retry the purchase, and then it'll just open PayPal, since that's the only payment option available to me just now. You can also edit the address that's available. You have your address book up here where you can define your addresses, and I use the business address for this order. For completed orders, however, you do have the option of, just need to make sure we're not revealing my home address. You do have the option of downloading an invoice, and since that is already downloaded, we will use this order instead and download the invoice for that. So there you can see the information is the same because I applied the business address to the order instead. And that is how the invoice will look. A little stamp that says paid up there, double the dates, invoice ID, all the things that you might imagine should be on an invoice. You have a shortcut up there to your licenses, but we'll go to the address book first, where you get to see and edit the address. It's basically the same as the business address in the admin CP. If you have created any products, if you have the permission, you'll see them here. So a little shortcuts, watch products. Also have the option of searching products, because search products and downloads are integrated into the search engine and will be kept up to date. Right, then all we have left is the licenses, and here you can see licenses that are awaiting payment, because these are the two licenses that I added to the shopping cart for the license that was awaiting payment, and you will not be able to view or edit or download any of the products associated with this license until the payment's been completed. Obviously, it's just here because I decided to show this awaiting payment system instead of just creating the licenses after purchase, just so it would be easier to manage. And it means if you manually create a license in the admin CP, or if you manually confirm the order in the admin CP, there's no there's no issues. If there's an issue with purchasing the license, that would be shown to the user before they actually tried the payment, and you wouldn't be expecting the admin to dig through the error log to try and find out why the license wasn't created. So that is just an error prevention mechanism basically, and it shouldn't be an issue to users, because most of the time they will actually complete the payment. And if they complain to an admin, the admin can just go in here and go to, for instance, the order log and complete the order if that's a thing. Or if they go into the licenses, since they're pending moderation, they don't have the purchase information, and they can just delete the licenses from there to get them out of the user's view. So that shouldn't be an issue. You can see your license info here. If the license is deleted or something like this, if it's soft deleted because it's been reversed, that will show here. The license information here. And we can talk a little bit about the add-on licenses, because as you can see here, we have a couple of add-on licenses that are associated with this license. If we click to edit the license information, we cannot actually edit the information for this license, and that is because it is managed by the parent license. So as you can see here, for testing purposes, I invented a version of eBulletin that doesn't exist. And if we set that back to 425 and then go to this license, you'll see it automatically keeps in sync with all the other licenses, all the child licenses or associated licenses. And you have an option to renew the license, where you can see which extras you already have, so they won't be added to your cart. Which reminds me, I did actually forget to show the purchase screen, but it's basically the same thing. It will if you choose a license that has an expiry date, there will be a display here for how long the license will actually receive updates for. And if it's lifetime, it'll receive updates forever, and you can quickly purchase add-ons from this page as well. Going back to the license screen, it's the same thing here, but here you can see that since we already have a branding fee and we already have a professional installation associated with this license, you can't purchase them again. And the expiry dates are updated from the existing expiry date plus 1 year or whatever. Buy add-ons, that's basically the same thing, just in case the license is a lifetime license. I wonder if we have that anywhere here. Yeah, this license, this is a lifetime one, it never expires, so that's why the buy add-on button is separate, and we don't have the professional installations. We would be able to purchase that separately. If I did do that, it would automatically associate with the parent license if I buy an add-on from this page. Download, it's basically the same as before, where attachments, you can download the attachments. External, I'll take you to the URL, and so on and so forth. We can go back to the main purchase screen, and we will add a couple of those. So we'll be big money, and we'll add lifetime. And there you will see it updates the cart, it updates the total, and it displays the licenses there. Go to the checkout. First thing, since we are logged in, we will see the need to define an address, so we'll choose business, and then we will get taken to the checkout screen where we have the billing address here. The system will detect, in preparation for physical products, if there is a product that is not digital, there will also be a shipping address underneath there, and on that first screen with the address, you will be able to edit both shipping and billing addresses, but that's not relevant to digital purchases, so we only have billing address. If you actually decide not to buy a license, you can remove it like so. Easy. You can apply a coupon code. I believe test is the coupon that just takes away. I've actually set this coupon to take away £500 off the order, just so I can test the order completion. We can go ahead and remove that again. And there we have the terms of service, and here you can see the last updated date. So if I was to go and edit this page and save it, this last updated date would actually change, and anyone would have to accept these new terms of service before they were allowed to download any products. But you only get asked that once. The system will store the last time you accepted the terms of service and won't ask you again. But on the checkout screen, because obviously money is involved, we always ask people to confirm the terms of service, and the full page is displayed inside the scrolling area. And you have to agree to it. But I don't agree, but you have to agree. And as you can see, for testing purposes, I did give myself quite the amount of store credit. We can just try to apply 1,000, and it will go back to 61 because the order total was 60.95. So then I'll go to 61, and the purchase screen is just standard. You'll see this is the order number 5, and purchase will take you back to PayPal if you want. If you have multiple payment options available, which we can enable real quick, if I can find it, there you go. And then, oh yeah, I forgot about that, because when you actually go into that, that will set it to be pending payments. There you go, the retry payment. And do we need to refresh that? Shouldn't there be more options? Oh dear, I think we might have broken something. Okay, I'll look into that. As we said, this is an early preview version, but you will be able to choose between multiple payment profiles if that option is available. I will look into why that was not the case there. And that is a high note to end this video on, so thank you very much for watching if you actually stuck through to the end. And if you have any questions, if you have any feature requests, feel free to leave them in the discussion thread below this video, and see ya.